At 2:45 a.m., the radar operators aboard the USS Valor, patrolling just off the coast of Oman, noticed a cluster of fast-moving blips closing in from the northwest. Initially dismissed as fishing vessels, the readings soon revealed unnatural speed and formation. Switching to infrared and high-resolution optical sensors, the crew confirmed the approaching threat. 18 heavily armed speedboats, each carrying at least a dozen pirates equipped with RPGs, a K-47 seconds, and mounted heavy machine guns. The team quickly alerted the command center, transmitting coordinates and estimated trajectories. Intelligence analysts cross-referenced recent satellite imagery and realized these were no ordinary criminals. They belonged to the notorious Al-Mahra pirate faction, suspected of collaborating with a Middle Eastern arms syndicate. Within minutes, the tension on the bridge intensified. Officers double-checked weapon systems and defensive protocols. Every radar sweep revealed the same grim truth. The pirates were moving with precision and intent, aiming directly at the tanker MT Al Riyadh, a floating reservoir of millions of gallons of crude oil. As the first shadows of the pirate fleet crested the waves, the USS Valor went on high alert. Spotlights cut through the darkness, momentarily exposing the faces of armed men leaning over the rails of the speedboats. At 2:52 a.m., the pirates opened fire with synchronized volleys of AK-47 rounds and RPG rockets, tracer fire streaking across the calm waters like red-hot comets. The night erupted into chaos as the initial salvo struck the tanker MT Al Riyadh, gouging the steel hull near the midship and sending showers of sparks across the deck. Crew members scrambled to secure vital sections, firefighting teams racing against the creeping flames. The Navy immediately responded with precision. 20mm phalanx CIWS guns roared to life, cutting through several attacking skiffs, while electronic countermeasures disrupted the pirates' radio coordination. Despite the defensive fire, 5 speedboats broke through the perimeter, closing in on the tanker's stern. The bridge crew coordinated evasive maneuvers while launching counter-rockets to deter boarding attempts. In these tense minutes, every second counted. A single hit to the tanker's crude oil storage could trigger a catastrophic explosion. The calm sea had transformed into a deadly battlefield, testing the crew's skill, courage, and resolve under relentless pressure. The pirates, undeterred by the Navy's initial response, shifted tactics. Dividing their fleet into 3 fast-moving waves, they aimed to encircle the MT Al Riyadh and cut off escape routes for both the tanker and the escort ship, USS Valor. Each speedboat carried 8-12 heavily armed men, RPG 7 seconds slung over shoulders, Daesh-K heavy machine guns mounted to the prow, and crates of grenades ready for the boarding assault. Their movements were coordinated, executed with a precision that spoke of training beyond mere opportunistic piracy. On the bridge of the Valor, Captain Langley barked commands, redirecting firepower and adjusting radar locks. The phalanx CIWS units spun, spitting a hailstorm of tungsten rounds toward the advancing skiffs. Smoke and tracer fire created a nightmarish haze, as explosions from intercepted RPGs lit up the water in fiery bursts. The tanker's deck, though damaged, became a mobile fortress, with crew members manning firefighting hoses, securing volatile cargo, and preparing for potential boarding attempts. The pirates' leaders, aboard the largest skiffs, directed their crews with hand signals and megaphones, attempting to coordinate synchronized attacks on the tanker's starboard and stern. UAVs launched from the Navy ships tracked the incoming waves, relaying targeting data to CIWS gunners, who adapted fire rapidly, neutralizing multiple skiffs in seconds. Yet, 3 speedboats managed to slip through the outer defenses, heading straight for the tanker's aft. In a tense, high-stakes standoff, the Navy deployed precision smoke grenades and flash charges to disorient the attackers while maneuvering the tanker to create a crossfire trap. The combination of advanced firepower, tactical positioning, and disciplined crew action slowed the pirates' advance, buying critical time to prepare for the decisive counterstrike. The sea had become a chessboard of life and death calculations, each side testing the other's limits. As the night sky over the Gulf of Aden lit up with tracer fire and explosions, distant thunder announced the arrival of reinforcements. From the horizon, 3 CH-47 Chinooks roared in, their rotors slicing the humid night air. Each helicopter carried 60 Navy SEALs, armed with M4, A1 carbines, M320 grenade launchers, and tactical breaching equipment, ready to board and neutralize the pirate threat. Above them, two AH-64E Apache gunships hovered like predators, missiles locked and ready, scanning the waves with infrared targeting systems. The USS Meridian, positioned strategically 600 yards off the tanker's starboard side, coordinated with the incoming aircraft, relaying radar updates and real-time targeting data. Meanwhile, the MQ-9 Reaper drone overhead provided live thermal feeds, identifying hidden pockets of pirates maneuvering under the cover of smoke and debris. Communications between the SEAL teams and ship command were precise, synchronized to split the pirate fleet's attention and prevent a concentrated assault on the tanker. The pirates, undeterred by the approaching reinforcements, accelerated their advance, attempting to overwhelm the Navy's defenses with sheer numbers. But the arrival of U.S. forces shifted the momentum. Apache missiles streaked across the dark sky, detonating on fast-approaching skiffs, sending plumes of water and fire into the air. Chinooks deployed SEALs via fast rope, dropping squads onto skiffs and boarding parties with pinpoint accuracy. Each engagement was a ballet of chaos and precision, as the SEALs neutralized pirate gunmen while protecting the tanker's valuable cargo. From the tanker's bridge, Captain Langley coordinated defensive maneuvers with the SEAL teams and Meridian's gunners. The combination of naval firepower, aerial support, and elite boarding teams forced the pirates into disarray. Explosions lit the night, creating momentary flashes that revealed the scale of the assault. Within minutes, the pirates' organized advance began to collapse, their boats sinking or fleeing under the relentless, coordinated counterattack. The escalation had turned the tide. The reinforcements had transformed a desperate defensive battle into a strategic offensive. With the immediate threat of the pirate flotilla partially contained, the U.S. Navy and SEAL teams turned their attention to preparing a decisive counterstrike. On board the USS Meridian, Captain Langley and his command staff convened in the tactical operations room, mapping out the pirate network revealed by the Reaper drone's thermal imagery. Each signal intercepted, every boat's movement, and even the faintest radio chatter was analyzed to predict the pirates' next maneuvers. The goal was clear: neutralize the pirate fleet, secure the tanker, and eliminate the source of the illicit arms trade. The SEAL teams rehearsed boarding procedures under artificial lighting, coordinating movements with the naval gunners and Apache gunships above. Every team member was briefed on high-value targets, specific skiffs carrying RPGs, machine guns, and the pirates' ringleaders. Small squads were assigned to intercept fleeing boats, while others prepared to board remaining vessels to disable engines and secure any stolen weapons or intelligence. Meanwhile, the ship's deck crews loaded additional ammunition, reinforced bulkheads, and tested damage control systems, ensuring the tanker could withstand even a final desperate strike from the pirates. Communication protocols were reinforced. Secure channels connected the Meridian, the Providence, the airborne units, and command back in Djibouti. The MQ-9 Reaper continued to feed real-time imagery, allowing tactical commanders to adjust plans dynamically as the pirates shifted their formations. Analysts highlighted potential escape routes along the Gulf's shallow banks, ensuring no pirate could flee with critical cargo. As dawn approached, the tension was palpable. The sea, once eerily calm, reflected the first streaks of sunlight through smoke and burning debris. Every sailor and SEAL knew the next phase could make the difference between total mission success or catastrophic failure. With final checks complete, Captain Langley gave the silent command. All units were to hold position, synchronize watches, and await the signal to execute the final strike, an operation designed to end the pirates' assault once and for all.
These are the predicted
At
escape
5:10 a.m., the Gulf of Aden erupted into chaos. From the deck of the USS Meridian, the first warning sirens pierced the pre-dawn silence. Across the waves, pirate skiffs accelerated, their engines howling like predators closing in on prey. Over 240 armed men spread across 28 speedboats, each manned with RPGs, heavy machine guns, and small arms, surged toward the USNS Providence, intent on seizing its precious cargo of oil and weapons. The U.S. Navy responded instantly. Deck gunners brought the ship's 20mm CIWS to life, firing precision bursts that shredded approaching hulls and ignited fuel tanks. Tracer rounds cut through the morning haze, illuminating the ferocity of the assault. From above, Apache helicopters unleashed Hellfire missiles, while CH-47 Chinooks deployed SEAL teams fast roping into skirmishes on the deck of vulnerable skiffs. Every move was choreographed with brutal efficiency, a lethal ballet of firepower and precision. Explosions ripped through the pirate fleet as rockets and machine gun fire detonated fuel stores on multiple vessels. Despite the overwhelming U.S. defense, a few skiffs broke through the initial perimeter, forcing SEAL teams to engage in close-quarters combat aboard the Providence. Smoke, sparks, and flames engulfed the deck as sailors fought to keep ammunition and oil reserves secure. Damage control teams worked frantically, patching hull breaches and preventing secondary explosions that could have obliterated the ship. Within 20 minutes, the tide had turned. Half the pirate skiffs were destroyed, their crews incapacitated or captured. The remaining attackers scattered, their coordinated assault shattered by U.S. tactical superiority and relentless countermeasures. As the smoke cleared, the Providence remained afloat, cargo intact, a testament to disciplined training and courage under fire. Overhead, the MQ-9 Reaper relayed live imagery, confirming that the main pirate force was in retreat, and the Gulf of Aden, once a battlefield, began to settle into an uneasy calm. As the smoke from the destroyed pirate skiffs drifted across the Gulf of Aden, the U.S. Navy's vigilance did not waver. The MQ-9 Reaper overhead scanned the horizon, revealing a faint but unmistakable signal on its thermal sensors. From the east, a convoy of nearly 50 additional speedboats emerged, moving in perfect coordination. It became clear that the initial attack was only the tip of the iceberg. These pirates were part of a far larger, meticulously organized network. Back on the USS Meridian, Captain Brenner convened a rapid strategy session. Communications intercepted from the pirate radios suggested an inland base of operations near the Barawi Peninsula, long rumored to be a hub for arms trafficking. Analysts cross-referenced satellite imagery and historical intelligence, revealing fortified compounds, hidden warehouses, and fuel depots enough to supply a private army for months. Every crate and shipment tied back to the same pirate kingpin, Abdul Rahman Qadir Yusuf, who was not acting alone. The discovery reshaped the mission entirely. What had seemed like a straightforward defense of the Providence was actually a confrontation with a sophisticated transnational arms and oil smuggling syndicate, linking the Horn of Africa to global criminal networks. The intelligence suggested that a follow-up operation on land was now unavoidable if the U.S. intended to dismantle the threat. Every move would need to be precise. A misstep could unleash catastrophic explosions from hidden stockpiles of munitions, or provoke an even larger retaliatory strike from the remaining pirate forces. The realization settled over the crew. The Gulf of Aden had been a testing ground, a rehearsal for a far more dangerous engagement on shore. Plans for an amphibious assault, supported by SEAL teams and aerial firepower, began taking shape. The operation would extend beyond the sea, reaching into the heart of the syndicate's stronghold. What began as a desperate attempt at piracy had now revealed a sprawling network of crime, and the U.S. Navy was determined to bring the fight to its source, leaving no room for miscalculation. As dawn broke over the Gulf of Aden, the waters, once torn by the chaos of battle, settled into an uneasy calm. Smoke from burning skiffs and scattered debris drifted lazily across the horizon, a haunting reminder of the violence that had unfolded just hours earlier. On the deck of the USNS Providence, sailors worked tirelessly to assess the damage, patch hull breaches, and ensure the safety of the remaining ammunition. Every crate, missile, and artillery shell had been preserved, a testament to their discipline and precision under fire. Casualties were minimal given the scale of the assault, yet the crew knew the encounter had been a near miss from catastrophe. The pirates' ambition had been staggering. More than 240 armed men, coordinated attacks, and stockpiles capable of leveling the Gulf. Their failure, however, highlighted one stark truth. Preparation, training, and teamwork could turn the tide even against overwhelming odds. The Navy had protected a fortune in munitions, thwarted a global criminal network, and prevented an explosion equivalent to tens of thousands of pounds of TNT. As intelligence teams sifted through the recovered signals and satellite imagery, the bigger picture became clear. The pirates were only one node in a transnational arms for oil network, stretching across continents. Lessons emerged instantly. Vigilance at sea was not enough. Understanding the web behind the attack was equally crucial. Maritime security required both courage and foresight, a combination of action and intelligence. The crew gathered to debrief, reflecting silently on the cost of vigilance and the price of readiness. Captain Brenner's voice carried across the deck. Today, we won at sea, but the fight is far from over. He reminded them and the world that the oceans had become the new front line in a global shadow war. If you found this account compelling, remember to subscribe and comment below. Share your thoughts, discuss the tactics, and stay informed about the battles that shape our seas. Every like, share, and comment supports awareness and vigilance in a world where the next threat may be just over the horizon. As the sun dipped lower over the Gulf of Aden, the last plumes of smoke from the shattered pirate skiffs mingled with the red-orange horizon. The waters, once violently torn by hundreds of rockets, bullets, and explosions, now mirrored the calm of a world briefly spared from catastrophe. On board the USNS Providence, sailors stood in silent reflection, their eyes tracing the horizon where the shadows of a near-apocalyptic attack had just receded. They had faced death at sea, guarding not just munitions, but the very balance of global security in a volatile region. The events of the night left an indelible mark. From the swift, coordinated assault of over 240 pirates to the precision strikes of U.S. Navy SEALs and Apache gunships, the battle had showcased both the dangers lurking in modern maritime corridors and the extraordinary discipline required to counter them. Lessons emerged clearly. Preparation saves lives, intelligence prevents disasters, and decisive action can neutralize threats before they escalate into catastrophe. Beyond tactical lessons, a strategic truth became undeniable. The age of piracy had evolved. No longer were these desperate opportunists, these were highly organized mercenaries embedded in global criminal networks, armed with weapons once reserved for armies and financed through drug and arms trade spanning continents. This confrontation was a reminder that vigilance, training, and coordination are the pillars of maritime security, and that even the calmest seas can hide imminent danger. As the crew documented the aftermath counting destroyed pirate vessels, recovered weaponry, and the miraculous preservation of the Providence's cargo, they understood that victory was temporary. The criminal networks would adapt, shift, and re-emerge. But today, the Navy had demonstrated a crucial principle. Precision, courage, and teamwork can turn the tide against overwhelming odds. If you found this story compelling, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to follow more maritime battles and operations. Leave your thoughts in the comments. What would you have done in the face of such danger, and how can we better prepare our fleets for the threats lurking beyond the horizon? Your engagement helps spread awareness about the new realities of global maritime security and honors the courage of those defending the seas. The ocean, once a silent witness, now carries the story of vigilance, courage, and lessons learned. The fight may be ongoing, but today, humanity stood strong,